Hello everyone, welcome back to Jungkook News. Today we're bringing you a moment that didn't happen on stage, didn't come with bright spotlights, and didn't need a performance to feel powerful. A quiet scene from a night in Incheon has caught fans' attention in a way no scripted moment ever could. Subtle, natural, and deeply human. Stay with us, because what you're about to see reveals a side of Jungkook that speaks without saying a single word. Sometimes, the most captivating Jungkook moments aren't on stage, not under blinding spotlights or surrounded by roaring crowds. They happen quietly, almost accidentally, when he's simply being himself. One recent night in Incheon offered exactly that kind of moment, and fans can't stop talking about it. The setting was a live party, dim lights, shifting colors, music filling the room with an unspoken energy. Somewhere above the crowd, behind clear glass in what appeared to be a private or VIP area, Jungkook was spotted standing casually, blending into the atmosphere rather than commanding it. No performance, no choreography, just presence, and somehow, that was enough. Dressed in dark, relaxed clothing and a bucket hat pulled low, Jungkook looked completely at ease. There was no attempt to draw attention, no exaggerated gestures, no performative expressions. Instead, he leaned slightly forward, watching the scene unfold below him, absorbing the vibe of the night. It was the kind of posture that said he wasn't there as a global superstar, but as a young man enjoying a rare moment of normalcy. Beside him stood a close companion, moving subtly to the rhythm of the music. The contrast was striking. While the room pulsed with sound and light, Jungkook remained calm, grounded, almost introspective. Every now and then, his body would shift gently with the beat, a quiet nod to the music rather than a full reaction. Fans noticed that immediately. This wasn't Jungkook the performer. This was Jungkook the listener. What made the moment feel so special was its unfiltered quality. There were no scripts here, no cameras meant for broadcast. Just a fleeting scene captured from afar, one that revealed how naturally Jungkook carries himself even when no one expects him to be on. His relaxed demeanor, the way he stood comfortably without trying to hide or show off, it felt honest. The lighting painted soft hues across the glass, greens, purples, shadows moving like waves. From certain angles, it almost looked cinematic, as if the night itself was framing him. Fans later described the moment as calming, grounding, even emotional. Seeing Jungkook in such a peaceful state reminded many why his presence feels so genuine. This wasn't about fashion or status or who he was with. It was about atmosphere, about how Jungkook fits so effortlessly into any space, whether it's a stadium of thousands or a quiet corner overlooking a party. That ability to exist without forcing attention is rare, and it's part of what makes him so magnetic. Moments like this don't happen often. Jungkook's life is usually documented in grand highlights, record-breaking songs, historic performances, iconic visuals. But this was different. It felt like being allowed into a small pause in his fast-moving world, a breath between chapters. Tucked inside that quiet moment was something fans instinctively recognized, a sense of balance Jungkook seems to have mastered over the years. The way he stood there unbothered, unguarded, spoke volumes without a single word. It was the posture of someone who has learned how to exist between two worlds, one that constantly watches him, and another that belongs only to himself. What stood out even more was how comfortable he appeared in stillness. In an industry defined by constant motion, Jungkook's calm presence felt almost rebellious. He wasn't scanning the room for attention, nor was he hiding from it. He simply was. That quiet confidence, so understated, so natural, has become one of his most defining traits. Fans often talk about Jungkook's intensity on stage, the fire in his eyes, the precision in his movements, the way he commands energy. But moments like this reveal the other side, the one that exists when the music fades into background noise. Here, his expression was soft, thoughtful, almost distant, as if he were letting the night pass through him rather than trying to control it. There's something deeply human about seeing an artist like Jungkook enjoy music without being the source of it. No pressure to impress, no expectations to meet, just sound, light, and a brief escape from responsibility. It's a reminder that before the charts, before the titles, before the global recognition, he was and still is someone who genuinely loves music. The glass separating him from the crowd felt symbolic in a way. Close enough to feel the energy, yet far enough to protect the space he needed. Fans noticed how he never crossed that boundary, never leaned into spectacle. That restraint, intentional or instinctive, added to the intimacy of the moment. What made the scene even more compelling was how effortless it all felt. Jungkook didn't appear aware of being observed. and that unawareness gave the moment its weight. There was no performance instinct kicking in, no switch being flipped. Instead, there was a quiet authenticity, something fans often describe as rare in spaces where image usually comes first. In that environment, surrounded by sound and movement, he seemed grounded in his own rhythm. His body language suggested familiarity with the chaos, as if loud spaces no longer demanded loud reactions from him. Years of experience of stages, cameras, expectations may have taught him that not every moment needs to be filled. Some moments are meant to be felt, not shown. Many fans pointed out how this side of Jungkook reflects a deeper maturity. The younger version of him might have mirrored the energy around him, reacting outwardly, moving instinctively. But here, there was restraint, a quiet assurance. He seemed content to let the night flow without needing to leave a mark on it. There was also something comforting in seeing him share space without dominating it. He stood alongside others, not above them, not separated by status, just another presence in the room. That humility, so often mentioned by those who know him, felt visible even from a distance. As the music continued and the lights blurred into one another, Jungkook remained composed, almost contemplative. It was easy to imagine him listening closely, not just to the beat, but to the feeling it created. For someone whose life revolves around sound, perhaps moments like this are grounding, a way to reconnect with why music mattered in the first place. Scenes like this don't trend because they're loud, they linger because they're real. And for fans watching, it wasn't about witnessing something extraordinary, it was about witnessing something honest. A reminder that behind the global icon is a person who finds peace in simple moments, even in the middle of the noise. That quiet honesty is what stayed with people long after the moment passed. Jungkook didn't need to speak or act for the atmosphere to shift. His presence alone carried a sense of calm. It felt like watching someone who knows exactly who he is, comfortable with silence, comfortable with being unseen. In a world that constantly demands more from him, this small, unguarded glimpse felt meaningful. Not because it revealed something new, but because it confirmed something fans have always believed, that Jungkook's strength often shows most clearly when he's simply allowed to exist. And that's it for today's story on Jungkook News, a rare, calm glimpse that reminds us why Jungkook's presence feels so genuine, even in silence. If you enjoyed this kind of exclusive, thoughtful content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Jungkook News, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest updates. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.